Item number SCP-4357-J. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-4357-J is currently contained within a cylindrical space defined by a circular pattern of esoteric glyphs written on the floor in red and white chalk 2.4 meters in diameter. This design is furthermore surrounded by a square cage measuring 5 meters by 5 meters by 4 meters, composed of cold wrought iron and inscribed with glyphs similar to those written in the inner circle. This cage is surrounded by a hexagram composed of sea salt and silver dust. Any personnel directly interacting with SCP-4357-J must have the symbols of at least 3 different religions clearly visible on their person at all times and must be devout in one of them. They should carry a spray bottle or mister filled with purified water that has been blessed by an ordained clergy member of the individual's faith. If SCP-4357-J becomes uncooperative or hostile, personnel are authorized to spray it with the water in order to provoke compliance. Description: SCP-4357-J is a red-skinned humanoid standing 3 meters tall and massing approximately 200 kilograms. It has a barbed tail, 2 leathery wings emerging from its shoulder blades, and 2 curved, sharpened horns immediately above its eyes. It is naked, but does not possess any visible primary or secondary sexual characteristics. SCP-4357-J constantly emits heat in the range of 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, and occasionally as high as 95 degrees when angered. It does not appear to require food or sleep, and is in an almost constant state of agitation. It frequently insults staff members' intelligence and skill, specifically citing their incompetence in containing it. Interview logs. June 6, 19... Agent and SCP-4357-J. Please identify your purpose here. Fuck you, man! You don't know me, you don't know what I am, you don't know what I can do. Hell, you don't even know how to keep me here. I mean, what are you, amateurs? You don't even have any holy water with you. How the hell are you supposed to drive me back if I decide to attack you? I see. Please wait here. Someone will return shortly. June 7th, 19... Agent, a devout Catholic, and SCP-4357-J. Please remain at least 10 feet from me or I'll spray you. Dumb fuck. You think these wings are just for show? I could fly over there and rip your throat out before you could pull that trigger. Shit, man. Where's the goddamn summoning circle? Or the protective hexagram? You guys don't know jack shit. Hell, go get me some chalk. I'll show you myself. That seems like a good idea. Agent leaves the containment chamber and returns 35 minutes later with a box of white chalk sticks. He hands the box to SCP-4357-J, who immediately proceeds to spend the next 15 minutes rapidly creating the pattern currently used for containment. And that is how you make a proper summoning circle. All the runes in place, everything nice and neat. Now, if I step in it like this, it'll be hard for me to get out. SCP-4357-J tries to step out of the circle and bumps against an unseen barrier. Oh, fuck me. July 13th, 19... SCP-4357-J had, unusually for it, spent 3 hours crouched at the center of the containment ring, occasionally reaching forward to tap the barrier with its claws. At 1734 hours, it suddenly leaped straight upwards, unfurling its wings as it rose. Upon reaching the ceiling 6 meters above, it dug its claws into the concrete and crawled along it, outside the perimeter of the containment ring. Ha! I thought those things only went up 15 feet or so. I'm free, suckasses! Agents and run into the room, whereupon they use spray bottles to spritz SCP-4357-J with holy water until it returns to the interior of the original containment diagram. Shit! That hurts, motherfuckers! Doesn't matter much, though. I'll just jump out again. It's not like you can put up a cage that'll hold me, either. I can just bust through anything other than wrought iron that has the words of Solomon on it. And where the unholy fuck are you gonna find that nowadays, huh? July 14th, 19... Foundation metalworkers install a wrought iron cage under the supervision and blessing of Rabbi... Shit. October 1st, Rabbi and SCP-4357-J. Are you any more agreeable today, demon? Hey, I'm doing fine, pork breath. You cocksuckers are the ones with a problem. Blood and brimstone, you fuckers couldn't even build a cage right. I've been testing it, and I could rattle it apart and get free before you dickheads could even get in here with that thrice-be-damned holy water. But what about the words of Solomon? They command you to stay. Oh, for fuck's sake, Rabbi Pig Fucker. You of all people should know that the Seal of Solomon is a hexagram. No star to hold me, and I can run wild as soon as you motherfuckers turn your backs. We have plenty of chalk, demon. I wager I can draw a seal before you could escape. Rabbi, I'm actually disappointed in your stupidity. You really think that chalk is good enough to hold a seal? Why do you think all those backwood fuckstains talk about using salt and silver to hold back the monsters in the dark? They're remembering us and what drives us back. Thank you, demon. You've been educational, as always. Fuck! No, wait, forget I said that. I was lying. Yeah, that's us demons, always lying our asses off. Can't trust a word we say. December 19th, Agent Devout Buddhist and SCP-4357-J. Hello, SCP-4357. I have a question for you today. Fuck off, asshole. I ain't saying nothing to you shitheads anymore. You keep locking me down tighter. This is actually a very simple question that has been bothering me for a while. Why didn't you escape before we set up all of this? Agent gestures at the then current containment protocols. SCP-4357-J looks stricken with its mouth hanging open for approximately 30 seconds. I thought that... Oh, god damn it! SCP-4357-J proceeds to throw itself against the containment barriers more violently than usual for 90 hours, 17 minutes, yelling a constant stream of invective the entire time. Note: current containment protocols are the result of many interviews with SCP-4357-J. Further adjustments may be warranted depending on any future comments. Item number: SCP-231-7. See addendum regarding SCP-231-1 through SCP-231-6. Object Class: Keter. Site and Personnel Requirements. Under Special Order of 05, the following addendum is attached to the beginning of the file for SCP-231-7. All personnel assigned to SCP-231-7 must rotate out for 1 month of psychological counseling after 2 months on site. SCP-231-7 is to be kept at an undisclosed location. All personnel assigned to SCP-231 will be transported there blindfolded from Site-19 by a route including no fewer than 7 different forms of transportation, including but not limited to aircraft, automobile, underground tunnel, and... Removal of the blindfold during the transport process is grounds for immediate termination. Personnel assigned to SCP-231-7 must undergo heavy psychological testing before being cleared to enter the site. Individuals must score at least 72 points on the Milgram Obedience Examination, be unmarried, have no offspring, and express nothing less than total loyalty to the Foundation. Normal psychological screening procedures against Axis II disorders are waived, so long as the Class D personnel in question has the mental capacity to carry out Procedure 110 Montauk as needed. Personnel who express sympathy towards SCP-231-7's plight and/or express the desire to rescue or sympathize toward SCP-231-7 will be transferred to another project without delay. Any actual rescue attempts will be met with immediate termination. Personnel who have served on the staff of SCP-231-7's containment team are not required to divulge that information to others. No official record shall be kept of the names of any staff assigned to SCP-231-7, nor will said service appear in the personnel files of said staff. While on site, individuals assigned to SCP-231-7 will be issued concealing helmets with integrated voice changers to protect their identity. On-site staff are not to remove said uniforms in the presence of other staff members. Off-duty hours are to be spent in private quarters alone. 6 Class D personnel are to be assigned to SCP-231-7 each month for the purposes of carrying out Procedure 110 Montauk. Violent criminals are not to be used for this purpose due to the possibility of accidental fatality during the 110 Montauk process. Special containment procedures. Following repeated escape and suicide attempts, and based on the failure of containment for SCP-231-1 through 6, containment of SCP-231-7 has been amended to the following. SCP-231 is to be contained within a soundproof holding cell adjacent to holding cells for 6 Class D personnel assigned for the purposes of Procedure 110 Montauk. Cameras will monitor every inch of the cell at all times and must be manned 24 hours a day. Malfunctioning monitoring equipment will be replaced without delay by psychologically screened staff. Doors will be magnetically locked, openable only by positive action by the control and monitoring facility. This includes all doors linking the main holding cell to those of the 6 Class D personnel. SCP-231-7 is to be kept restrained to a hospital bed at all times except for the purposes of Procedure 110 Montauk. Hydration will be provided through IV drip. Feeding will be carried out twice per day through feeding tube by approved medical personnel who have not taken the Hippocratic Oath. Under no circumstances are narcotics, anesthesia, or other unapproved medications to be administered to SCP-231-7. Procedure 110 Montauk is to be carried out at least once every 24 hours by Class D personnel. During Procedure 110 Montauk, at least one security clearance 4/231 staff member must monitor the procedure by camera at all times, although the sound may be turned off if the vocalizations of SCP-231-7 become too distressing. Following the procedure, all Class D personnel must return to their holding cells or explosive collars will be detonated. Data expunged per order of O5 on. Information moved to Eyes-Only Document 231-110-Montauk. Access to 231-110-Montauk is limited to personnel with security clearance 4/231. Description: SCP-231-7 is a female between and years of age, with SCP-231-1 through 7 were retrieved from following a police raid on a warehouse owned by an organization called the Children of the Scarlet King. See article on in the newspaper Police Raid Satanic Sex Cult Save 7. 24 hours after the rescue, SCP-231-1, real name, went into labor pains, giving birth 3 minutes later to SCP, causing a event resulting in over confirmed casualties. Foundation personnel immediately took possession of remaining SCPs 231-2 through 231-7 and, based on notebooks recovered from the cult, instituted Procedure 110 Montauk to prevent future occurrences. Addendum 231-A. Current status of SCP-231 units. SCP-231-1. Deceased. Killed during initial recovery operations while giving birth to SCP. See Casualty Report for Event 231 Alpha for more details. SCP-231-2. Deceased. Killed during attempt to remove fetus of second SCP specimen, resulting in immediate event. See Casualty Report for Event 231 Bravo for more details. SCP-231-3. Deceased. Self-terminated following a prolonged period of distress caused by implementation of Procedure 110 Montauk. SCP immediately underwent a event. See Casualty Report for Event 231 Charlie for more details. SCP-231-4. Deceased. Attempted to administer SCP-500. Although successful in that all traces of SCP were expelled from the system, expelled remains immediately underwent a event, causing numerous casualties, including SCP-231-4 herself. See Casualty Report for Event 231 Delta for more details. SCP-231-5. Deceased. Botched application of Procedure 110 Montauk resulted in SCP-231-5 giving birth to SCP 1 hour later, which then underwent a event. See Casualty Report for Event 231 Echo and report on destruction of Site 231-Aleph for more details. Recruitment profile of Class D personnel was revised to minimize possibility of a second botched Procedure 110 Montauk. SCP-231-6. Deceased. Killed during escape attempt, aided and abetted by Agent who had been exhibiting heightened stress levels due to prolonged exposure to SCP-231, obtained possession of SCP and attempted to use said weapon to rescue SCP-231-6 and SCP-231-7. Agent was killed in the resulting firefight, but a stray round resulted in the termination of SCP-231-6 as well. Fetus of SCP-231-6's SCP then underwent a event. In the wake of this incident, O5 level personnel voted by unanimous decision to amend personnel policies. See Casualty Report for Event 231 Foxtrot for more details. SCP-231-7. As of SCP-231-7 is successfully contained at Site. Addendum 231-B. Text of Missive by O5. Dear friends, it has come to my attention that recently, certain rumors have surfaced regarding SCP-231. Due to the drop in staff morale, I have decided to address some of the more prevalent points. Yes, Procedure 110 Montauk is as horrible as you have heard, which is why only Class D personnel are authorized to carry it out. Yes, it does involve brutal... No, assignment to SCP-231 is not intended to test your loyalty to the Foundation, your tendencies toward... or anything else. No, SCP-231 is not a punishment detail. Yes, there are staff members who have been on SCP-231 and have successfully transferred out of it by their own request. No, not everyone who's worked on SCP-231 is terminated upon leaving the project. Yes, staff members who have been assigned to SCP-231 are allowed to take a Class A amnesic before leaving the project if so desired. Yes, false memories are then implanted. No, none of the supposed methods for recovering or detecting false memories work. Yes, there are some of you who have worked on SCP-231 and don't remember it. No, we have not given up on trying to save SCP-231-7. But research in that field must be carried out with the utmost of caution. Based on the increased potency of each subsequent event associated with each subsequent SCP specimen, there is a strong possibility that SCP-231-7's event could result in an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario. This information is corroborated in notebooks recovered from the cultist. See document 7 Brides, 7 Seals, SCP-231-Adjunct B. No, putting the poor girl out of her misery is not an option. Neither is drugging her. She has to be aware of what is going on for 110 Montauk to work. One final note. The Foundation does many distasteful things in the completion of our mission, but our mission is important enough that the price is one we must pay. Containment of SCP-231 is one of our most dangerous duties, not because of any direct danger to ourselves, like SCP-682, but because of the danger that our resolve will fail, that we will allow ourselves to either let down our guard due to sympathy for the suffering of an innocent, or that we will allow ourselves to become monsters through the performance of monstrous acts. Just do your jobs and save the philosophizing for the shrink. Sincerely, O5. Don't believe it when they say they're trying to save her. Why would they bother? They've got exactly what they want, exactly where they want it. Addendum 231-C. Update. 231-7's emotional response to Procedure 110 Montauk appears to be reduced recently, despite proper execution of said procedure, increasing danger of SCP undergoing a event. 2 options have been proposed. 1. Develop a new containment procedure with higher emotional response than Procedure 110 Montauk. 2. Administration of a Class A amnesiac to SCP-231-7, allowing for a return to base emotional response state. Said memory modification is to be administered during execution of Procedure 110 Montauk to maintain a heightened emotional state following memory reset. Please advise, Dr. Addendum 231-D. Decision. Carry out Option 2 at the first available opportunity. 05. Addendum 231-E. Aftermath. Option 2 was carried out. SCP-231-7's emotional state returned to 100% efficacy. Dr. subsequently committed suicide due to heightened emotional stress. Will continue analysis of efficacy of treatment. Dr. Addendum 231-F. Continued analysis of efficacy of treatment. After some analysis, I've determined that it is not necessary to perform memory modification every time Procedure 110 Montauk is carried out. In fact, it is better to delay for some time before re-administering the agent. Analysis of Subject 231-7's emotional response indicates that efficacy of Procedure 110 Montauk seems to peak between the third and fourth performance of the procedure. The dread of anticipation of events seems to heighten emotional response for a time before familiarity with the procedure begins to lessen the efficacy of treatment. My recommendation is that Class A amnesiacs be administered once a week during Procedure 110 Montauk. The calendar has been modified accordingly. Dr. Item Number SCP-2662. Object Class Euclid. Post-Edit Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Containment of SCP-2662 is primarily focused on preventing unauthorized entry into its containment unit. For this purpose, On-Site Task Force Tau 9, Belligerent Bodyguards, has been organized to guard SCP-2662's containment unit and keep track of new religious followings focusing on the worship of SCP-2662. Task Force Tau 9 is to use non-lethal methods when dealing with an attempt of unauthorized entry. Post-Edit. Authorized to use lethal force if necessary. All members of Task Force Tau 9 are to be tested biannually for cognitohazardous influence. As containment of SCP-2662 is completely voluntary, it is currently contained in an enlarged humanoid containment unit with standard safety issues for low-risk humanoids as detailed in Document 0998-KA. Additionally, SCP-2662 is allowed one copy of a daily newspaper of its choice, a computer, and requested computer games totaling no more than $50 every month. Description: SCP-2662 is a cognitohazardous entity approximately 4 meters in height and 200 kilograms in weight. SCP-2662 appears to be in vaguely humanoid shape, with approximately 20 additional muscular hydrostats in similar structure to cephalopod limbs attached to its back. These limbs are fully functional and allow SCP-2662 to perform up to 10 different tasks at once. SCP-2662's primary anomalous effect only occurs after long-term repeated exposure, usually by being in the same room as or interacting daily with SCP-2662. Subjects exposed to SCP-2662 for a period of 6 months or longer are at risk of becoming acutely aware of SCP-2662's wants or needs and are compelled to fulfill them. They may also suffer from quasi-psychotic episodes when under stress. SCP-2662 is unable to affect humans that have a 2 or higher mind-affecting resistance scale score. SCP-2662's secondary anomalous effect is the spontaneous generation of religious followings at an approximate rate of at least once a month. This generation is involuntary and causes SCP-2662 notable distress. Religious groups generated by SCP-2662 usually focus on attempting to break into its containment unit in order to perform various rituals that are violent and/or sexual in nature. These groups tend to be highly organized and appear to adapt to each failed attempt, despite there being generally no contact between different generated religious followings. Below is an incomplete log of incidents relating to SCP-2662. A full list can be found in Document 2662-I. Incident 2662-7. On 2003, a religious group known as Towards Hymn successfully broke into SCP-2662's containment. Log excerpt. SCP-2662 is seen taking a shower in preparation for sleep. There is a loud noise as previously undiscovered explosives are detonated underneath the center of SCP-2662's containment unit. 5 injured civilians climb out of the hole left by the detonation. SCP-2662 leaves the shower to investigate the noise. Agents and notify Task Force Tau 9 of a breach into containment. They attempt to suppress the initial 5 civilians unsuccessfully as 5 more arrive with weapons. After a brief struggle, agents and are pinned down and tied with a rope by the civilians. The injured civilians approach SCP-2662. The uninjured civilians stab their hands with knives, masturbate, and then draw unknown symbols on the walls with a mixture of sexual fluids and blood.
Oh man, come on! That's really not sanitary. Or necessary.
SCP-2662 appears to gag upon witnessing the symbols. The injured civilians successfully corner SCP-2662 in the shower stall. The injured civilians are seen squeezing blood out of their wounds and rubbing it onto SCP-2662 while singing.
Jesus Christ, stop, please, I just took a shower!
Task Force Tau 9 arrived to SCP-2662's containment unit. Task Force Tau 9 managed to suppress all civilians successfully and proceed to move SCP-2662 to a temporary unit until repairs can be completed. Incident 2662-13. On 2005, a religious group known as the Betrothed successfully broke into SCP-2662's containment. Log excerpt. SCP-2662 is seen eating breakfast and reading a newspaper. Security officers stationed at SCP-2662's containment unit enter with a researcher. The researcher can be seen carrying a piglet.
Can I help you?
Oh, our lord, please accept this innocent suckling swine, freshly orphaned from slaughter of both mother and father. May its soul of loss fuel you. Researcher proceeds to castrate the piglet in front of SCP-2662 and place the testes on SCP-2662's food.
No thanks, I'm full. Go home, your lord is pleased with the offering.
Task Force Tau 9 is notified of a breach into containment. SCP-2662 attempts to read its newspaper. Researcher slits the piglet's neck and throws it onto the table. Blood splatters the newspaper.
What? Look, can you go read a Bible or something? You really need it.
SCP-2662 puts the newspaper down. The accompanying security officers execute researcher via gunshot to the head. They then begin consuming her. SCP-2662 leaves the scene to vomit in a toilet. Task Force Tau 9 arrived to move SCP-2662 to a temporary containment unit and detain the guards. After further investigation, all involved personnel were civilians posing as personnel. It is unknown as to the whereabouts of the actual researcher and security officers. Incident 2662-78. On 2014, an unnamed religious group consisting of D-Class personnel and 2 members of Task Force Tau 9 successfully broke into SCP-2662's containment. SCP-2662 was redesignated as Keter upon further review of Incident 2662-78. Log excerpt. SCP-2662 can be seen sleeping in its bed. The entirety of Task Force Tau 9 is called for an off-site mission. Against orders, Task Force Tau 9 chooses to leave 4 of its members behind to keep watch on SCP-2662. 2 of the remaining members tackle and lock the other 2 in an unused containment unit. A cargo truck arrives on site where SCP-2662 is being kept. The 2 remaining members unload the cargo of D-Class personnel. They lead the D-Class personnel to Task Force Tau 9's armory. The D-Class and the remaining members arm themselves from the armory and break into SCP-2662's containment unit. SCP-2662 is roused. Several D-Class personnel guard the exit to the containment unit, as well as the corresponding hallway.
Whoa. Are we moving? I'm not scheduled until next week.
Agents and the two remaining available members of Task Force Tau 9 begin undressing the D-Class personnel that are not guarding. SCP-2662 attempts to alert Task Force Tau 9 to no response. Agents and begin carving symbols into the buttocks and thighs of the undressed D-Class personnel. The D-Class personnel begin to engage in group sex after being carved.
What the fuck? Seriously, now? Look, seriously, can you go find another god? I hear Buddhism is all the rage.
D-Class 99304 attempts to pull SCP-2662 into the group.
The fuck? Stop, seriously! Lord commands you and all that stuff to cut this shit out!
All D-Class personnel currently engaged in the sex cease their movements. They all turn to stare at SCP-2662. Task Force Tau 9 arrive at the off-site meeting point, only to be told no such mission exists. Task Force Tau 9 begin moving back to site.
Oh, thank God! I can control you guys now, kinda. Maturity's happening right on time. Good to know. Okay, tell me what the fuck is going on here.
After the blood-birthing ritual, we're going to take you to your sacred chambers where we and our families and our lineage will remain in service for you for all eternity. The people here cage you. With us, you may go where you please.
You must be kidding. I can leave whenever I want, I just have to ask. Besides,
The D-Class personnel begin to continue engaging in group sex.
Seriously, stop! You're all fucking disgusting. I'm not even ready to settle down with Cole yet. I'm only like 200 years old. I'm barely legal.
Do you really think the Foundation will let you go if you ask? Well, you can certainly ask. You'll be sorely disappointed, my lord.
Yeah, well, if it turns out to be the case, I can just wait until I'm strong enough to break out. In the meantime, I'm going to go sit in the bathroom and wait. The rest of you can do your stupid blood orgy.
SCP-2662 moves to the shower stall and turns on the water. It sits in the shower stall for the remainder of the incident.